What's up, you guys? Super excited you're here. My name is Daniel. I was a photographer for the last 15 years, and I'm sharing with you everything I learned as a photographer. I'm spilling the beans. I'm giving it to you all, and I want you to be successful. And so what I'm doing is I'm making a course that's completely free. I'm putting it on my website, and it's just a nice logical flow there. So if you want to start from beginning and end, and from there you'll be able to learn everything you need to know to start a photography business in 2026. So we're just getting into it. Today is one of the most exciting conversations, I think, which is end goal. This is super personal, and so everything I say here is just me sort of talking to you as a friend. This is not advice in terms of me telling you what to do, but this is just like me sharing with you what I did and what I think is helpful and necessary if you're starting a business here. So for example, when we're talking about end goal, your business needs to be serving that. And what I mean is you're not just like getting a job, right? The goal is not to just have a job in life. The goal is usually some kind of a job is like an ends to a means, right? You get the job, you get the cash, and you get to go on vacation. Or you get the job, you get to pay your rent, right? Stuff like that. Is photography for you an end goal, or is it a means to an end? And I'll just be honest with you, as someone who's a bookkeeper for photographers now, photography is great as its own sort of like thing. It's, but to me, it's not a virtuous standalone, activity, meaning like, it's not like a moral superior thing where it's like, I'm a photographer and nothing else matters. It's, am I getting paid? Like, am I actually paying my bills and meeting my goals? So at the end of the day, I do think, when you're starting a business, you need to be thinking about the numbers. Is it cool to be a photographer? I think it's cool. It's fun. It's a sweet job. But at the end of the day, you got to pay taxes, right? So like, think about the end goal here. What are you doing? Are you creating a job for yourself, or are you creating freedom? Are you going to turn this machine into something that gives you freedom? And I think that needs to be talked about and thought about. So what do you do right now? You're driving to work. I want you to think about, if you didn't have to go to work today, if I just gave you $3 million, what would you do? Would you go travel? Would you go buy video games? Would you hang out with your family? Would you go to a great restaurant? What would you do if you had the total freedom to like spend your life however you wanted to do it? That's what you need to be thinking about when you're starting a business. Are you just creating a job, or are you creating something that will give you freedom in your life? And photography can do that. And I love it. I think it was such a great career. It was so much fun. And now as a bookkeeper, I love serving photographers and helping people meet their desired goals that way as well. So it's a super fun job and I love it. So it kind of kills two birds for me. So moving on, thinking about end goal, I think one of the things that's really important here is actually coming up with numbers. And so as a bookkeeper and accountant, I think it's really important. A lot of people don't really think about this too much, shockingly, but you need to come up with a figure. So for example, if I said, hey, I will hire you as a photographer for $30,000 a year. Is that cool? I don't think that's enough money, right? You need to come up with what's your desired game plan here. Are you going to retire one day? Well, you need to come up with some savings, right? And you need to be investing that money. So for example, maybe your yearly number, your target is $180,000 a year, which is totally doable. How do you do that? One way is you need 20 weddings at $9,000 each. That's pretty possible, right? So how do you get that? Now we're getting into the marketing and the rest, which we'll talk about soon. But you need to be thinking like, how much money, what is that number that like will make me quit my job? And then write it down, and then we'll be able to serve that, right? So I think at the end of the day, what we're doing here is we're creating a monster that's going to be taking care of us. If you are caring for the business, it'll care for you. But you need to have a clear vision, a clear goal as to where we're heading. I will tell you, as a photographer starting out 15 years ago, the end goal was 100% not financial for me. It was, I just really like doing this and it's fun. People tell me I'm good at it, so I'm just going to keep doing it. And then pretty soon people just start asking me to shoot their weddings, and I just became a photographer. I would do it totally different. I would sit down and say, okay, well, what do I want with my life, right? And those questions change, right? Every decade or so, you're going to have new sort of questions to ask, and your life's going to look different. You're allowed to change it. But I think I would have probably sat down and say, what do I want my life to look like? actually, you know what? I do want to go travel every single year. You know what? I do want to spend a month in Spain and just be able to live there. What would it take to do that? And I think that would be so much fun to dream up and come up with. And so that's what we're doing here. I'm sharing with you guys everything I've learned as a photographer. I apologize, I'm getting over a cold here in the summer. If you have any questions, head over to my TikTok, Instagram, let me know. And we're going to move forward in this course and we're going to start getting into the nitty gritty. And so follow along, like, subscribe, whatever you need to do to stay notified. And I will see you soon.